Oh, I'm never good at these camera things right here, but... So, I get a phone call from school that we are off work today on a Friday. And so I'm looking into why, and I've been checking the news on my phone right here that there's apparently been another murder that took place late last night. And typically what that means is if there's like a murder within like a 5-mile radius, let alone 2 murders that happen, then they typically cancel school, which, I applaud the school's decision for that. But something's weird's going on because we get an Amber Alert about like some sort of body hung over the bridge of Stolberg Avenue, which, you think nothing of it. But then what made this peculiar is that there was a second murder last night with a body being thrown off a building. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, we got another typical murder here in a metropolitan area, which it doesn't surprise me. We have a population of 2 million people in this city. But, they said that it could potentially be John Kramer. And... no. It can't be John Kramer. It can't. I'm sorry if I'm rambling here, but, see, 10 years ago, it was one of the darkest times in our city's history. I was 16 years old when I knew about the first Jigsaw killings, and then for like a full 1.5 to 2-year period where we all were just petrified of coming to this city and hearing on the news like every 4 or 5 days, another Jigsaw murder, another Jigsaw murder. I literally lost count to seeing how many people were murdered by John Kramer. I mean, it's just insane, that one man, like some 50-year-old man with cancer, no less, is able to kill like 40 or 50 people. Like, it's just unheard of. I mean, when I was 16 years old, I grew up in a school where I've had people in my school district that were affected by this. I don't want to name names here, but you probably all know, but that's just what's all going on right there. But so now that I get the news that apparently, Jigsaw's back from the grave, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there was like it was like a recurring joke that there was like a tourist attraction. People would literally go, to all the buildings, like the Gideon Meat Patrick Factory, which that's been shut down. It's now a new building in general, but people would go there all the time. Tourists, camera crew, documentary series, you name it. People were just so fascinated. It became a laughing stock where people really come in here and they say phrases like, "Oh, do you want to play a game?" I got kids at school nowadays, just like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I have one kid that uttered that phrase in the hallway to one of his classmates, who they tend to pick on all that. I won't name names here, but you see, that's just the kind of culture that this John Kramer established here. And it got me thinking, what is his legacy going to be? What is John Kramer's legacy going to be? Because if you ask anybody on the news, they would say, he's a murderer. He's a psychopathic killer who's a serial killer that killed about 50 or 60 people. Let alone like 30 or 40 people on the police force that had died because of this man. But there's the other approach. You see, he was a killer, but his motivations were something more. And I know it sounds strange, me being a history teacher and all, but the fact of the matter is, what is his philosophy? The man is insane, no doubt, but is he right or is he not wrong when it comes to this stuff right here? Like, is his way truly beneficial? Do his methods really work? And some people are crazy because there's like, you're on two sides of the fence. Either you understand John Kramer's intentions, or you just accept the fact that this man is truly insane and he truly kills anybody who he thinks does not follow his ideal philosophy in life. I can go on about the story and the time of John Kramer's here, but you've had people all over the internet, you've seen documentations, that break down his philosophy. Heck, there's books and journal magazines and creds written about this man. So, I'm not going to get into the philosophy here, but which brings me to today and why I'm recording these messages today. I don't know if I can go through this again. There was a part of me growing up as a kid I was kind of fascinated with John Kramer. And I'm not talking like, his traps and his vicious things and stuff like that. No, I mean, is he onto something with some of the things right here? Which makes you kind of wonder philosophies. I myself, as a history teacher, am just astonished by the research and the dedication that John Kramer had to his beliefs. And so now, when I get the news that they cancel school today because apparently the Jigsaw Killer is back, it's just nuts. I refuse to believe. And I got the news on right now. I'm watching the news like literally right now that they are apparently digging up John Kramer's grave. Yeah, someone who had cancer, supposedly died 10 years ago, is still alive. For some reason they think it's John Kramer. Our police force is a joke. Seriously, they are a joke. You know how much crime has gone through this city lately? Tons. Little known, how many kids in our school district have been arrested over the past couple of months? You can go on the news about whole police brutality and stuff like that, but to them actually have the gall to think that John Kramer is alive just shows what kind of morons we have at the police force. But that's just the whole point right there. They're going through, they're digging up his grave right now. And the fact that they got news crew going on the TV right now as I'm watching, that I see they're just now finishing digging up the gravesite right now. And they got some coroner guy right there. It looks like that guy, Detective Hunt, is at the scene right now. The guy we watched on the news last night that had no comment. They're going to go through the grave right there, and they're going to find John Kramer's body. He is not alive, people. John Kramer is... Oh my God.